Eric Farnsworth. He's Vice President of the Council of the Americas, joined us from Washington, D.C. Good to have you with us. Well, as Alessandro was pointing out there, Boric is promising to take it one step at a time, but with expectations so high for him to do everything from fix the environment to erase inequality. Can he take it one step at a time?
Hi, Sami. It's good to be back with you. You know, that's the conundrum. He's got big goals. He's got high expectations. He won with a convincing majority, but he also has a very divided country. It's not just divided in terms of the opposition. It's divided in terms of the Congress. And to be honest, Chile has a very large middle class, which is not looking for radical changes from the previous or the existing economic model. So there is going to be at some point perhaps a clash of expectation versus what can the newly elected president really get done in the near time frame. That's something he's going to have to be really nimble in working with the opposition to try to figure out.
Talking about a clash of expectation and reality, we're seeing markets drop, as Alessandro was reporting to us. How long do you think that is going to last, though? Is this just a temporary glitch?
Well, it's a really important question, and I have to say we've been seeing money move out of Chile well before this election in anticipation that the results might not be to the liking of a lot of investors necessarily. Look, people are pragmatic. If they see that the policies that are moving forward are, broadly speaking, market friendly and not going to do dramatic shifting of the economy, which has really been quite successful actually over the last generation, at least at the macro level, then I think you'll see money start to come back. You'll see new investments be made. If the idea is that there are going to be more radical changes that don't have the broad support of the Chilean people, I think you'll see money remain on the sidelines. So people are going to take this one step at a time and let him frankly show that he's able to govern from the center as he promised now that he would. I do think you have one additional issue that has to be mentioned. That is that Chile has a constitutional convention coming up in the new year, or a new constitution that's going to be decided by the people, in fact. And what that means is that investors, I think, no matter what happens with the new government, are really going to wait until the outlines of that constitution are known, because that will be the governing document going forward in Chile now.
He got a better endorsement than we thought he was going to get, if you listen to the polls at least. And he seems to be not lacking anything in conviction. But will Congress work with him? It looks kind of gridlocked, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. He does not lack for conviction, excuse me. He is a student protester going back now over a decade. He's very savvy in front of the media. He's very well spoken. He has big ideas and big goals. But the reality is, again, Chile is a strong and vibrant democracy. The Congress is a strong institution, and the Congress is itself very divided between supporters of the new president and the opposition. So to get meaningful legislative change through, there's going to have to be a lot of compromise. And what that means is that perhaps some of the largest ambitions, at least in the near term, are going to have to be put on the shelf so that people can really work this through in an incremental basis. And again, that's going to be his political challenge, meeting the expectations and the needs of his supporters and his base, who have high expectations, with what is he able to get through in the legislative process.
What did the polls get so wrong about the sentiment of the electorate, and how can Boric, play on that going forward?
You know, the polls across Latin America are notoriously bad. In this time in Chile, they really weren't that bad. They had him leading right up to the end. And so I think, broadly speaking, they were successful in that regard. But what they missed was the turnout, which is to say, from the first round several weeks ago till yesterday, the turnout of his supporters dramatically increased. And whereas he came in second place in the first round and now won yesterday, a lot of that difference can be attributed to getting his voters to the polls. That's something you really can't measure in terms of pre-election polling. You can measure intent, but you can't measure at the end of the day who's physically going to show up. And that's why you saw, particularly on social media and other media yesterday, such a concern among Boric's supporters about things like buses that they couldn't seem to get to run and get people to the polls and things like that, because they knew it was a battle of turnout, and that's what they indeed focused on, and that's how they won.
All right, thanks for your analysis on that, Eric Farnsworth.
Thanks, Sami.